Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I wanted to talk about Salt Lake City. I know I'm late. I wasn't even going to do this review, to be honest, because I didn't care about the episode. One, it's becoming repetitive with the whole Meredith act a fool gate, girl, airplane gate, and on top of that, I was confused about Whitney and Justin. Um, but I was like, and then the new episode comes on Tuesday, and today is Sunday. So I was like, I might as well just wait. But I was like, just go ahead and just put up the review. And plus, I watched it twice, even though it was nothing to watch twice. But I watched it twice, and I was like, you watched the episode twice, you might as well go ahead and put up a review. So this, we're just going to talk about the important things that happened, and then we're going to move on. Salt Lake City is okay this season. They've had great moments. I think because for me, last season was just pure perfection. Um, it's kind of hard to follow up after that season. This is not a bad season to me, but I will say it's nowhere near as great as last season was. But anyways, the girls are still they're still the new it girls in town. Don't ever get it twisted. All right, y'all. So let's just talk about Todd and Bronwyn. Todd is coming back home. He works out of town. So Bronwyn meets him at the airport. And you know what? I do feel like Bronwyn does things to. A part of me feels like Bronwyn does things to get a reaction out of Todd. Um, she knows how Todd feels about the ladies. She knows how Todd probably feels about this show. And so when they have conversations about the ladies, I feel like she's doing that intentionally to try to get some type of reaction out of him. I could be wrong. Because I'm like, why do you keep talking about these women to him when you know what his reaction might be? So they're just basically talking about their week. And then he asks her about her week. And then she tells him, I did what you told me basically not to do, which was get involved in Airplane Gate. Meredith acting a fool allegedly on the airplane. And of course, he is just like, basically, I told you not to. And I was just like, why? Like, I just feel like sometimes, I don't know. I feel like Bronwyn, I think Todd is a complete asshole. I do. I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, oh, he doesn't want to do the show. I know it has to be hard because a lot of these men, not a lot, but some of these men are trying to support their, partners. So they're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. But at some point, baby, just put a smile on your face and show up. You know what I'm saying? I would rather you just not show up on camera, or when you do, give the bare minimum, but at least put a smile across your face and be fake about it, than to show up in almost every scene and be just a complete asshole. Because then that's how people start to question things in your marriage. Anyways, but Bronwyn, I feel like she says things knowing how Todd is going to react, especially about this group of women. To Todd is a grown man responsible for his own emotions and what he puts out there. But I think that sometimes Bronwyn does kind of pour gasoline on the fire. I do, because you know your husband. You know how he feels. You know how he feels about this show and about these women. So you could just be like, "Oh, it was fine." You know what I'm saying? Like, "Oh, my week was fine." Does he really need to know about what happened between you and the ladies? No, because he really doesn't care. Anyway, so Whitney and Justin, this is where y'all gonna have to help me out, because like, I don't know. The whole Whitney and Justin thing is confusing to me. So this is what I think I put together. So Whitney is outside having I guess some sweet tea. I don't know, but she's outside having a drink. I don't know what was in the cup. Justin comes out with a cigar and a drink. I don't know if he was drinking alcohol or not. I don't know. Anyways, But he comes outside, and then she says, I saw that that you did a large transfer from the banking account, basically to the people that they owe. It sounds like, again, help me with this. Justin wanted to merge, I guess, the jewelry business with, I guess, Wild Rose. And now the jewelry business, I guess, was a complete flop. And because they merged Wild Rose with the jewelry business, now that's tied up with that. And now Whitney's dream is basically kind of going down the drain. And so I guess she's blaming Justin because it was Justin's idea to merge the companies together to, I guess, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm explaining it right. Okay? But that's what it sounds like to me. So it sounds like, I guess she's blaming Justin for, I guess, coming up with a plan to merge the companies together. But I also feel like if that is what's happening, Whitney, baby, you had already fucked with the church's money a long time ago. Remember when Whitney wanted to pretty much drain their savings to start with, to start her, the girls get on Housewives, and I don't mind. One thing I love is an ambitious diva or divo, right? We're gonna get onto these platforms and we're gonna make the best out of it and try to make as much money as we can before they give us a pink slip and a white box. We don't want to be like Sheree and Toya, right? We want to be the Candies. We're gonna have something new, or at least we're gonna have something going on every season. I'd rather you try and do something than to don't use this platform. Anyways, I was about to go into a whole nother rant. So I'm not mad at Whitney for trying to do something, but I think I remember Whitney wanting to drain their savings to basically chase after her dreams with this beauty empire, I guess. So I feel like Whitney probably has some blame in it too, sister. It sounds like she's trying to put it all on Justin. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't think it sounds like Whitney's trying to act as if her hands are kind of clean. And it's Justin's fault. And I guess because she just saw dollar signs. I don't know. That's all I was like. I was confused about the whole storyline with Justin and Whitney. At the end of the day, girl, what it comes down to is they say your ass was over there buying necklaces for $1.99 and selling them for $99.99. Girl, and you have the girls and boys next to her turning green, purple, and yellow. Okay, bitch? Scratching and itching and shit, okay? Anyway, so Bronwyn and Muzzy. Girl, when I tell you the way I did not like Bronwyn's mama at all, I don't know what happened from the last time she came on camera up until now, but she's kind of almost done like a 180. Usually it happens like from season to next season. They may see themselves and be like, girl, I look like a goddamn fool. But Bronwyn's mother in this episode wasn't that bad. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Bronwyn. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think from the episodes that I've seen from the franchises, right? I've only watched Atlanta, started watching New Jersey, season 10? I can't remember, girl. No, I started watching Beverly Hills season 10. I've seen the women, go to prides. They'll hire, a butch queen, a queen, to be their assistant. They'll have a gay as an accessory. Bronwyn is one of the first housewives that I have seen use her platform to speak up for the trans community and the LGBTQ community. I mean, I know it's not separate, but but she's used, sometimes people just say something about gays and that's it. But she's spoken out about trans and also LGBTQ as a whole. She's just not saying, "Oh, we need to protect gay rights." No, she's bringing a light to the the dolls, okay, to the trans community. And I was like, that is so dope of Bronwyn because like I said, girl, the girls will get on TV and they'll swear up and down they love the gays, they love the gays, they love the gays. Um, but I don't think I've ever heard them really say anything about the trans community. And I don't really know if I've ever seen them stand up for the gays. I'm sure. I'm sure probably Lisa Vanderpump. I know Candy. Now I think about it. Candy threw up a post one time. Some of the girls. Okay, I take what I back. I take back what I just said. Well, now that I think about it, some of the girls have. But I think Bronwyn is the first one to like stand up for the trans community. But I think most of the girls, they just go to a pride parade, hire a punk to gas them up. That's how I feel about the Housewives sometimes. No tea, no shade. Even the other girls, I feel like, girl, it's no shade, not to bring other people into this, but like Quad, Nene, all the girls. When I see like a gay assistant, I feel like they hire the gay assistant to just kind of be like a cheerleader for them. Like, ooh, girl, you so bad, girl. I really do. Anyways, but yeah, shout out to Bronwyn. So she's at the table. She wants to bring attention because there's an attack on the LGBTQ, and she wants to mail out flags to people so people can hang up flags in support of the LGBTQ community. I don't know if Muzzy, I wouldn't doubt it. She's a very religious woman. It doesn't sound like Muzzy is too much of an ally. However, I think Muzzy is one of those people where, due to her age, not to give her a pass, but due to her age, and of course, being that she comes from sounds like a very strict religious background. I mean, girl, she wasn't too much. I mean, girl, the way she treated her daughter, girl, it's no shade. If you treat your child a certain way, then I definitely don't expect you to treat nobody else differently. Girl, so she could give a fuck about the LGBTQ. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Sutton's mama. Girl, I'm not trying to. I know I'm all over the place. It's like Sutton's mama, girl, Big Rita. Girl, y'all was expecting Rita to treat Garcelle a certain way, and then started pulling the black card. No shade, but Big Rita didn't even fuck with her own white ass daughter. So why the fuck you think she don't give a fuck about Garcelle? It's shit like that. So it's like, you know, we done seen the way that Muzzy be talking to Bronwyn. So if she don't give a fuck about Bronwyn, she damn sure don't give a fuck about me. Okay? But it sounds like Muzzy is coming around and maybe questioning some of the things that she's been taught. She made a comment about her now not really caring what people think about her, even though it's common and, for us to always think to a certain extent or care about what people have to say about us. She says that as long as if it's helping Bronwyn, then she's down for the cause. I really thought that was nice. Like, sometimes I hate to be this person because I don't want people to misconstrue what I'm about to say. I think sometimes in some situations, not every situation, sometimes you do need to take what you can get. Girl. So I think that if you listen to Muzzy and the way she talks, it sounds like she's being open. She's an older woman, a woman of a particular age. It sounds like she's open to it, because if she wasn't, she would not be in porn stores. She would not be in, adult stores. She would not be sitting at a table helping Bronwyn send out these rainbow flags. You see what I'm saying? So it's stuff like that where she's probably conflicted. One side is like, I was taught this. But on the other side, like, she's still doing it, if that makes sense. Like, I can see if it was just straight up across the board, no, then I'd be like, ooh, girl. But that's not what she's doing. It's kind of like you have to meet people where they are. And again, I'm not talking about in every scenario. But in Muzzy's case, I could see Bronwyn being the person who opens Muzzy's eyes to question things that she was probably taught. Because Bronwyn comes from that same religious background. But I think due to Bronwyn becoming pregnant as a teenager and going through what she went through, I think that probably opened up Bronwyn's eyes. Like, bitch, I don't want to judge, even though we all judge. I don't want to judge people too hard because I knew what I went through. You know what I'm saying? And I went through it at the hands of my own goddamn family. So they probably went through certain things with their family too. Okay, I'm going on the whole. Okay, let's get back to that. So she basically tells Bronwyn that she's a great mom and she's proud of her. And Bronwyn starts to cry. I really think in some scenarios, I think it's important for parents to tell their kids that they are proud of them. I think that in Bronwyn's case, we'll just keep it on Bronwyn and Muzzy. I think Bronwyn really needs to hear that, right? Because Bronwyn is someone who got pregnant at 18. Was she 18, 19? She got pregnant very young, and it caused a lot of chaos and confusion. So I think that's something that Bronwyn needs to hear, right? Kind of like Sutton needs to hear certain things from Big Rita for her to move on. I don't know, girl. Big Rita sound like she, baby. Big Rita sound like she a hard nut to crack. But yeah, I think it's important, and I think that parents should try and somewhat validate their kids' feelings in a way. I do. I do. I do. I really do. And it's sad because, girl, you have these people walking around here 30, 40, 50, 60 who really just want approval from their parents. And the sad thing about it is some of them will never get it. Anyways, they acknowledge that it's hard for Muzzy to really talk about her feelings. That's not the way she was raised. I mean, girl, believe it or not, girl, I didn't grow up in a real lovey-dovey family either. I feel like that's some people out there, not everybody, but I think it is hard. And if that's not how you grow up, it is kind of hard for you to express your feelings because that's not how you were raised, girl. Like the women that I was around, you would think, they say women are like, no, girl. My grandmother was very like. I think I saw my grandmother cry a few times. I remember she cried when I moved out, and that shocked the shit out of me. Girl, I thought the world was coming to an end because my grandmother does not cry. She cried when I moved out. Okay, I'm about to start crying. Ah! Okay, I got myself together. My grandmother passed away a couple of years ago. Anyways, so my grandmother cried when I moved out because I lived with her my last 2 years of high school because my mother moved to another city and I didn't want to move. So I moved in with my grandmother to finish out my last 2 years of high school. And then I remember a few times she cried, but my grandmother was not the crying chick at all, girl, like at all. I remember when my aunt passed away, like I remember her not even crying at the funeral. Yes. Girl, crazy. I think I remember her holding my uncle, consoling him, but I don't remember seeing my grandmother even cry at her daughter's funeral. That's how like she was. But then I remember one time I think I heard her crying in the bathroom. Yes. Ain't that sad? That's so sad. I guess I'm about to cry. Oh, okay, let's move on. Anyways, so okay, let's move on. Anyway, we done talking about Bronwyn and Muzzy. Spilling the tea and putting it. Oh, so Bronwyn is about to be deported. Basically, when Trump get a hold of her ass, baby, she gonna be gone. So long story short, like, girl, I'm really tired of talking about the whole Merediths. And listen, at this point, they have like a spilling the tea type of situation that Bronwyn hosts. Put it all out there and throw it over and don't bring it up again. Whitney and Meredith get into it. Girl, I'm not gonna lie, girl. Bronwyn low key switched that shit. Girl. So Bronwyn basically addresses Whitney and says she was trying to be a good friend to Meredith and says she was sorry for spilling what Whitney told her. So she apologized to Whitney for telling Meredith what Whitney said. And then Whitney basically wanted to fight with Bronwyn, and Bronwyn basically told her, "Look, bitch, she basically said, "Look, bitch, I apologize, but you shouldn't have told me if you didn't want her to know." I said, "What?" Yeah, that's pretty much what Bronwyn told Whitney. "Look, bitch, I apologize, but girl, at this point, girl, I'm not gonna keep talking about this shit because if you didn't want her to know, you should have told me." I said, "Bitch." Um, and so Whitney and Meredith get into it. And then Whitney says, Meredith is calling Whitney a liar. And then Whitney says that if you're going to call me a liar, then you're an alcoholic and a pill popper. I said, "Ooh, girl, now let me tell y'all something, girl." Whitney, this is what I heard. Girl, this is the word on the curb, not the word on the curb, bitch. So I was at BravoCon 2025. And they allowed me, where they told me I could sit in VIP. Boom, okay? So I had went to a panel with, what's his name? Jerry O'Connell was the moderator. It was Sheree from Atlanta, Real Housewives of Atlanta. It was Marge from Real Housewives of New Jersey. It was Aaron from the reboot of Real Housewives of New York. And then it was MJ from Shahs of Sunset. MJ sat on that motherfucking stage and told us a story. I forgot how it even came up. But she told us a story. I'm sure the episode is probably on Peacock. I'm not sure. But nonetheless, MJ told us a story about how Whitney Rose was pissy fucking drunk at BravoCon. I think it was either Friday or Saturday night. And either it was one of the Tom-Toms or some white boy from Bravo, period, had to help her piss because she was that motherfucking pissy drunk. Sure did. So, Whitney, while you out here worried about the other girls drinking and acting a fool, girl, MJ was at BravoCon on the motherfucking panel telling us how your ass was pissy drunk and how you needed help relieving yourself. I think it was like a porty pot, was it a porty? Was it a pot of porty pot? You know what I'm talking about? The little sheds that you piss in. That they have them a lot. They have them a lot at concerts and stuff. It was something like that MJ was saying, but MJ told the story about how you was pissy drunk and how you needed help pissing. I think in the middle of the street or something like that. Sure did. So are you out here worried about Meredith, girl, and what she got in her cup? Girl, you had too much in your cup, BravoCon weekend 2025. Now, that's what MJ from Shahs of Sunset said. And that's not no allegedly. Now, it might be allegedly from MJ, but that's exactly what that bitch said on that panel. Because I heard it with my own ears and saw it with my own two eyes. So anyways, this is the thing. I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done with it. At this point, I don't give a damn what Meredith did on that plane. I do believe that Meredith was cussing Brittany the fuck out. I do. And I do believe that Lisa was that best friend who was gassing Meredith up and telling Brittany, "Yeah, bitch, you fucked up. My good girlfriend gonna get your ass home." You know what I'm saying? Now, she probably didn't say it like that. But I do believe that at some point they were probably tag teaming Brittany, right? I don't think Meredith acted a fool like they acted a fool. However, just like some of the cousins, and I had to agree with some of the cousins in the comment section said, baby, if Meredith acted the fool that y'all say she acted the fool, then why didn't none of y'all bitches stand up and get in between them? If Meredith was cutting up and acting a fool the way y'all say she was cutting up and acting a fool, then why did y'all just sit there and not even try to diffuse the situation? You mean to tell me y'all couldn't say, "Meredith, girl, just change seats with me. Just change seats with me. Girl, we all in first class. Does it really matter where we sit at this point?" It's not like somebody was sitting in 37B and you was sitting in 2C. I mean 2B. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. Like, girl, she couldn't have been acting too much of a fool if none of y'all really intervened and tried to stop it from happening. Because if y'all were on a plane ride that long, she acted a fool for X amount of hours and none of y'all tried to stop Meredith, change seats with Meredith, calm the heifer down, girl, stop. And plus, again, I don't think that Meredith acted a fool like that. I think she was cussing Lisa. I think she was cussing Brittany out, but I don't think it was to the degree that they say. Girl, the next thing is this. Meredith did say, did y'all catch that tea? When Meredith did say, "Listen, I do have a drink from time to time and I occasionally take a gummy." I said, "Oh, girl." Now that's not, let me say something. That's not the same thing. Taking gummies, I'm about to defend the girls who do edibles and weed and the girls who have a cocktail, like me every now and again. People who smoke weed, even though we know it's all considered drugs, alcohol, whatever, Girl, the people who do gummies and do alcohol, girl, the way that that's not the same thing as a bitch popping pills and drinking at the same. Not to me, it's not. Okay. I don't like that Whitney is trying to compare Meredith to her father, who's an addict. Bitch, me taking gummies and having a glass of champagne is not the same thing as tying a motherfucking rubber band around my elbow and looking for a vein. Now I don't know if that is that the type of shit that Whitney's daddy was doing. What type of drugs was Whitney's daddy on? I can't remember. But whatever he was doing, whether he was smoking a pipe or girl looking for a vein and tying a rubber band around it and sticking a needle in his motherfucking arm, I don't know what was going on. But I don't think it's fair for Whitney to try to put that on Meredith. Girl, that's your reality. And because that was your reality with your father, now all of a sudden everybody else got to be addicts and whores. Girl, no. Girl, I would have been cussed Whitney out a long time ago. Now, a bitch like to have an edible every now and again, and a bitch might like to have a gummy every now and again, and a cocktail every now and again, but bitch, you're not going to put me on the same level as your motherfucking daddy. Straight like that. Bitch, I pop a gummy bear every now and again and have a glass of champagne. But girl, I wasn't around here smoking no motherfucking pipe. You know what I'm saying? And that's how Whitney's trying to make it seem like what Meredith is doing. Bitch. Anyways, I'm tired of them. I hope they don't bring up please don't bring up Meredith acting a fool in that airport again. Because at this point, Meredith basically pretty much told all y'all hoes, no face, no case. Okay? No face, no case. Girl, y'all ain't got no dirt on me. Girl, deny until I can't deny no more. Girl, so I don't know what y'all talking about. I didn't act a fool. Girl, y'all lying. It is what it is, and I'm done with it. What Dr. Jackie told Buffy, and I'm done. Okay? Girl, I'm done with it. Anyways, no more Meredith Gate, Brittany Gate. We don't care. Please don't bring that up again for the rest of the season. Girl, Meredith needs to cuss Whitney ass out. Girl, stop comparing me to your addict of a father. No shade, but stop comparing me to your addict of a father. I'm dead ass. Okay? Yeah, and that's what it is. All right, y'all. I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good night. Bye.